All right, welcome to the team call. It is April 18, 2022. We have the privilege of having Ms. Ashley Brannon on the call tonight. Ashley has been with Solle almost from the beginning, not quite from the beginning. And she has an amazing story. And if you guys have met her, she is literally the sweetest, most Texas-like person from Austin on the planet. And she just has a heart of gold and so much to offer and so much to share with us. So I am super excited to hear and learn more about Ashley, and I hope you guys are too. So Ashley, just go ahead and take it over and we'll chime in as appropriate, but the call is yours.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay, great. I'm just getting set up in a new office, so I'm excited to have some decorations behind me eventually. But I'm so thankful, Kristen, for your phone call and us connecting, especially on our last Solle trip. That was such an amazing trip to just really strengthen relationships and get to know one another a little bit better. So I was really excited when you called me. So good to be with y'all tonight. A little bit about my Solle story is it's been about 8 years ago. I'm from Texas, like Kristen said, and I'm currently living in Texas, but I love to travel. So I picked up and moved to Louisiana about 8 years ago, and that is where my Solle journey started. I was just having a lot of challenges with gut health, anxiety, not really knowing what was going on. Well, someone shared Solle with me, a little red packet. And that was Alan Reed, because I was working for him at the time. And little did I know the gates were about to open with the most amazing, life-changing people, and one individual person, my late mentor, Cynthia Reed. And I did not know she was a naturopath. So when I had the honor of, once I started on cinnamate and other herbs, I dove in, like my heart said yes. I didn't have to think about it. I went all in. I had the opportunity to learn right at Cynthia's feet, in the room. And what I learned to do at that time was get together in person. And that's where I met Becky Boyles and Krista Villiers and Valerie Bledsoe. And, the list keeps growing. And now here we all are today, which is just such a blessing. Like, the products do the work, but the people in Solle are truly, like, I saw a happier, healthy, and better life, and I wanted that, and I knew I had to share that. So here we are today, and I'll get a little bit more into that as I wrap up the call. But Kristen and I were talking about tool time, and I'm really bummed that I missed the foot baths. I do want to learn more about that from y'all. But can I share my screen, Kristen? Okay, here we go. So I just put together some notes, a few things, ways that I love to share Solle that feels good to me in my heart, and how our team does as well. So let me share here. So, okay. Can you guys see number one? Okay. So I put on here tool time, creating legacy and connecting with your soul. So one way that I love to share Solle is sharing the vision, right? Because our vision, to me, always stays the same. We're very clear in our vision, but the way that we carry out that vision, new things that we try, we kind of adapt. And those things change, but staying in our lane and staying super clear on the vision is really critical and super helpful. What I love to do is just simply build belief in the product, like lead by example, using the product. We all do that, everybody on this call, and build the belief through sharing stories and testimonies. We have so many powerful stories and testimonies within Solle, and all the places and ways to share them. So the third thing is mindset. This is a saying that I like to kind of hone in. Mindset plus heart set plus health set equals heart selling and creative space. So why did I put that there? To me, when we are in the right mindset, in the right heart space, and we're taking care of our health, we are truly sharing and selling from the heart. So it's very authentic, it's very pure. You know, we have solutions for people. One thing is, you know, there are a lot of options out there, a lot of supplement options, a lot of business options, nothing like Solle. Nothing like this community and the combinations of the herbs. So people are still looking for solutions. So what does that tell us? That we have those solutions for them. So the fourth thing that I put on here is, well, let me go back to creative space, okay? So I don't know about y'all, but I can get real busy in my creative space, like creating things, and because it's such a beautiful thing and our brain needs that and wants that. But if I kind of do that a little too long, I go down to number 4. So the 3-2-1 method. And this is, so I can kind of hone back in on connecting with people and adding value and building the business. So that's 3 new conversations, 2 follow-ups, and 1 team member call a day. So that kind of helps bring me back to those income producing activities, if you will. And so you get like a really good balance of the heart selling and creative space collectively together. So let me just stop here. Okay, I just wanted to see everybody's faces because I'm just staring at this screen. So, all right, I'm gonna get back on track now. Okay, so Zoom calls. This has been really beneficial for me lately. I did move to, I love to travel around, you know, being in a new town is great and fun, but wherever I am, I love to connect with people in the community and serve the community. So what I love to do and what's been very helpful as of lately is Zoom calls for everyone new. It's just a step closer to being in person if that is the opportunity presented before meeting in person. So if I meet Sarah tomorrow morning, I set up a Zoom call ASAP, you know, send out 2 times. Are you available Tuesday, Thursday at 2 p.m. so we can have a conversation? That has been very helpful to connect quickly and to understand someone's needs. So the 6th one, local networking groups, and a group, I put on there a group that you align with. So talking about serving a community, this does take, you know, time. Yes, it's a networking group. If y'all have been to one, it's usually 1 day a week and it's in person. They do have some that do it online. But you're connecting with people, and I say that align with you because, you know, who are those people that you want to be at the table with? Who are those people that you want to spend time with and invest in, because this is all part of creating our legacy. And the networking groups have been very beneficial. So if anybody has any questions on that, let me know, you know, whatever kind of questions you might have. Number 7 here, the in-person and online healthy hours. So I learned this from day 1, like learning with Cynthia. It was in-person meetings. For me personally, that's what sets my heart to just be free and in a good place. And I love connecting with people. And we are getting to that point where people are wanting that connection again. And these can be online. So what's been helpful is just to have a consistent day and time to have these healthy hours, no matter what the outcome is, because one of the biggest parts is showing up. You know, there's power in showing up. There's power in presenting. There's power in connecting people in our circle with one another who hasn't like seen each other in person or locked eyes or hugged or or just sat next to each other and maybe talked or not talked. So that has been very helpful. And it's an opportunity for the people that we connect with in person in our communities to invite their friends to come. Let's see. Okay, number 8 here. Building a strong customer base. As we all know, this can influence influence our volume in a very big way. So when we serve our customers, whether that is a phone call, I love handwritten note. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'll show you in a minute. But I love handwritten notes. I was sick back in October. The thing came to visit me, you know, that was flying around. And I sent one email in 30 days, was about all I could do. And I prayed to God and I said, you know, what I have put in place and the way that I've touched people's lives, you know, please just have this carry through this month, you know, and serve others. And that happened, you guys. Like, it was a strong testament. You know, I think sometimes in the hard times of life, when all of our just passion and hard work is shown to us, it really opens our eyes. So then that flows into referrals. And that just speaks volumes when, you know, I've asked customers for, a lot of people will just naturally refer, right? We go get our hair done, we tell people, or whatever it is that we like, we tell the people that we love and care about. And sometimes it's just random people. So referrals are huge and an amazing way to grow our network and add value and grow the business. And now with the discount codes, it makes it even that much easier for our customers to really get value by helping their friends. And that brings me to number 10, which I have a legacy on here. And I love how, Kristen, you teach legacy and you lead by legacy. And, you know, that being the name, part of the name of your group. And, you know, the desires that were placed on our hearts, they're there for a reason. So the more that we water them and watch them grow and invite people in and lock arms, the more that legacy is shown to people, like a healthier, different way of life, you know? And as our faith grows and our confidence grows and we grow in leadership, which really is, you know, self-belief and stepping up and getting into action and adding value to people, that is, I mean, that's living, you know, yeah, that feels so good to be able to share that forward. So I just want to ask, what are you speaking into your life and what are you speaking, you know, into your business? And I just want to close with legacy. To me is, you know, what we leave in people. And I know the people that we have in Solle, we truly, we lead in love and we leave that in people's lives. You know, we can leave monetary, you know, things which are such a blessing as well. But what we leave in people really speaks volumes. And I'm going to switch off to this screen and I'm going to show y'all something. And I think I can get through this without getting emotional. So a few of the tools I did want to show y'all though, as far as the customer notes, I got these, Missing Your Soul and You Are Loved, just cute little handwritten notes. And those can be made on Canva. Natalie O'Brien had made those. So speaking of legacy,
Hey, Ashley, may I interrupt you?
Oh, please, because I'm like probably talking and talking. Yes.
No, you are fabulous. And those cards are so cute. Would you be willing to share that?
Yes, these are made by Natalie O'Brien, and I will send you, you want me to just send you the information or?
Yeah, or
Okay.
even if it's like the Canva link, if you have that,
Yeah, I'll get you,
or whatever.
yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out and get it to you with the
Those are
information.
adorable. Thank you.
Aren't they so cute? Yeah. So I've been sending out like clients who have been on the herbs, you know, I've been sending out or have been on, but are not currently, just to reconnect. I've been sending Messing Your Soul with a little just touch point note, and then I'll put their discount code in there for them as well.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, does anybody have any questions about what I had just gone over? We're good, okay. Okay, so speaking of legacy, I want to share this with you guys. This is, I don't know if y'all can read that. I'm going to read it. The greatest use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it. And this is so special. I got this in 2016 from Cynthia, and it just going to legacy. What she left is just, it's such an honor. I'm so grateful to be able to continue. You know, there's many that go before us who help build the bridge, if you will. And there are many who are helping build that bridge right now. And we are all a part of that as well. So as she would say, there are strength in numbers. And it is such a beautiful thing to get together with everybody. And I can't wait to meet those of you I don't know on this call yet. And now with this gift, I have it in my window, and she has left such an imprint on my heart and through the Solle family. And I know that we all feel that and experience that. So I wanted to wrap up with that. And Kristen, thank you so much for having me tonight. It was good to be here with all y'all. And if you have any questions about the networking groups or any of that, just feel free to reach out to me.
Ashley, it's really, you know, Cynthia's story is just, it's so unique because I never had the opportunity to meet her. She passed away just before I started Solle. Actually, the first conference I went to was the first conference where she had just passed. But yet, this morning we did a journaling prompt, and she was one of the people that I wrote about. I wrote about creating a ripple effect that lives beyond me. And I feel like that is in so many words who Cynthia was, because here we are. I know Chris has met her, but I'm not sure if anyone else besides you and Chris had ever met her. But look at what she created. And that's just so, so powerful. And I said the same thing about Sharon. You know, I did have the opportunity to meet Sharon, but her legacy is living far beyond her. And so I'm just so glad that you brought that in there. The one thing that I would love to hear more about, if you're willing, is the mindset plus heart set plus health set. I feel like I caught a little bit of that, but I couldn't write quite fast enough. So if you wouldn't mind kind of going over that one more time.
Yeah, let me, so basically, let's see, sometimes I'm like, okay, how do we get there? But when we look at heart set, mindset, let me bring that back up on my end. Okay, so the mindset plus heart set plus health set. So if we are in a good place mentally, you know, by the people that we're surrounded by, the healthy deposits that we're putting into our minds, into our life, our environments, right? We can't control the environment, but what we do have power and clarity over is what we allow in our mind and what we allow to believe. And so once we can nourish and water our mindset, and then we get to our heart set, which those two, I really believe, come down to self-empowerment, self-belief. It took me a while. I could work for somebody else all day, like over and beyond. But when it came to, oh, I'm going to work for me, like this is for me, like when we believe that we are worthy of it, that's what I'm talking about. When we do mirror work and we say something to try to convince ourselves, we have to believe it, clear as day, nobody else, you first. So, and then we get to health set, which all of those are encompassing together and work, simultaneously together and are just flowing together. The health set, we have that belief. We're putting the herbs in, we're deciding who we want in our circle, where we want to give energy, who we want to give energy to. Then that brings us to heart selling and creativity, because we're in such a clear mind, pure heart and good health. It doesn't have to be perfect health. We're never going to have perfect health, but that puts us in a place to where our mindset, when we're sharing with somebody, when we're sharing soul, or we're sharing solutions, or we're sharing the foot baths, our heart is so clear. We know that we are adding value to people's lives, and it takes away those like story. What does Bob Hylick call them? Red light stories. Yeah, it takes all that stuff away, because no. And it helps that creative side of the brain open up, click in. And the more that we're creative, like our life just lights up. And you see that for yourself, but other people see that around us. So I hope that gave a little more clarity to that.
Oh, yes, it did. And you did such a brilliant job explaining that. I love everything about that.
Yeah. And I learned so much of this from, Chris DeVilliers, Becky Boyles, Lisa Manchester, like everybody that Valerie Bledsoe. And the beauty in all of that is continued to be passed on and just flowing like a river, which I think is everything. And we're doing that today and tomorrow. So that's part of the legacy. Mm-hmm.
I love that. Does anybody have any questions for Ashley?
I had one.
Oh, go ahead, Lisa.
I just wanted to know, have you experienced like ups and downs within your business throughout the years, and how do you handle the tough times?
Oh, yes, of course. Absolutely. I have found that the number one thing is who we're surrounded by, and commitment. There wasn't like, I didn't, start my business and say, oh, I'm going to go until this or that or whatever. It was a lifelong, however long it takes, and I don't know that there's really a top, it's like, okay, well, we've reached that mountaintop, then kind of what's next and who are we going to link arms with? But anyway, I'm getting off track. The number one key I have found is the people that we surround ourselves by. And I have some of the most amazing mentors and friends, and most of them we work together, like all of us on this call. I stay very clear on the vision. What I've done is stay very clear on the vision. I have this right in front of me. Even when I was traveling, I packed it in y'all know I've traveled all over and I've moved all over in the last year. I packed it in my little suitcase bag thing so I could see it. And I reevaluated the how, and I adapted the little things that we talked about, but stayed clear on the vision. That gave me hope, and that helped me stay committed or recommit myself if that's what it took. And the last thing, Lisa, I'm pretty sure it was Lisa, is sticking to the basics. You guys, there are so many flashy things. There is always something new. There's always stuff. We're like, it's a blessing and can be, get us off track. But where was I going with that? I get so excited. I get off track. But yeah, just staying very clear and staying committed. So yeah.
Well, and I think too, Ashley, like kind of where you were going with that was like, there's always going to be something that's, that shiny object syndrome, but being able to really just focus on, where we are and like what we know in the long end is just going to benefit us more. Or like
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Thanks, Ash. That's where I was going. And thank you for helping me get over, because I do want to close that part with this is sticking to the basics, right? So I learned 5 things: nourishment, herbs, sleep, water, movement, and mindset. So faith, prayer. Well, that one's number 1. We're going to switch those. So every time I go back to those basics, I have found what works for me as far as a program in herbs is when Chris presented the 14-day cleanse. It took me a few years, but the last year and a half, that 14-day cleanse, I just do it for 30 days, 1 time a day to help those healthy deposits and self-empowerment. That has helped people stay consistent on their herbs and get to a point where they stay on them, 3 months plus. So sticking to the basics.
I was going to just add, thank you. Oh, no, can you hear me? Okay. Thank you for the reminder, because I was just actually talking to Kristen about this the other day and how like we do forget like just those basic things, and we have to remember to call ourselves back to them. And I had a situation where I had an in-person, I call them divine appointments, impromptu, when I was getting my hair done with a friend's mom. And I spent an hour with her, and it was so life-giving. Like it just filled my soul back up again to be able to have those conversations in person with someone, because we're behind a computer so much. And find your sweet spot, like what Ashley said, and pursue it wholeheartedly. Because am I back?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay. I don't know what you guys heard last, but I was just saying like, that's your superpower, and that's where you are going to shine. And you shine differently than every single person on the screen. And it's easy to get distracted or to lose sight of who you are and why you're doing this. So thanks for reminding me of that today.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good point. You guys, Jim Winter's book, it's kind of a short, simple read, but he talks a lot about like the cycle of emotions, and we have it in business, in relationships, working out, whatever it might be. But like we're super excited, and then something happens and we get a little discouraged, and then we might blame somebody, or we might, turn to ourselves. And then it's just kind of like an emotion of roller coasters. And then we recommit, or something else is looked for, so I do recommend that book. So.
Well, and I think it used to come in the new specialist sign up, but I'm not sure it does anymore. It's called Split Second Choice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a 1 to 2 night read. And I really feel like everybody should, I wish they would still include it, because we all go through that. We're so excited. We jump into Solle. We start telling everybody about it. And then we think that that's just going to continue. And we kind of like are up here, and then we're down here. And then what Ashley said, we recommit, and then we're back up again. And, you know, the goal is always to, everybody's going to have downs. There's always going to be a downtime. It's a matter of how down you get and how long it takes you to recommit. But there's also that split second choice, basically, where, you know, you could make the decision not to recommit. And that's where the community comes in. That's why we do morning calls. That's why we do team calls. That's why the guys are always like, you got to come to the events. That's why Amy gets people together for coffee. That's why we do those things, because we all go through those ups and downs, but it's the community that keeps you there. And I think all of us have said this at least once out loud, if not 100 times, that it's the products that got me into Solle, but it's the community that keeps me here. You know, like it's you guys. You guys are what drives me and what drives so many of us. It's really the community. I don't know how Greg did it when he made his business plan, but somehow he made a business plan where only really cool, nice people are Solle specialists, because everyone within Solle just blows my mind on a daily basis. So thanks for bringing that up, Ashley. That is a great book that I've kind of forgotten about. Although Ashley Geigel, you just read it recently.
I got halfway through it and then I jumped into another book, which is so odd for me. If any of you know me from the beginning, I would never read a book. So
yeah, and you know what? Sometimes that's all we need. Sometimes God gives us half of a book and it's like, okay, that's as far as I need right now. Like, you can heal your life, right? I have tried to read that book so many times, but I haven't made it through yet. But every time I get to a certain point, I've relearned things. And then, you know, maybe the next time I read it, I'll get a little bit further. And so sometimes books are kind of funny that way. Or all of a sudden there'll be a book on my bookshelf that just draws me to it. And it's, you know, there's that energy there with books.
Maybe we should do a little book study on it so that we like go slow with it so that we can all like digest it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Or we could even do a book study on, what was it called? Split second choice. That would be a good one too. Either one, or you do both.
I was going to add, oops, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to add, you know, when Ashley was talking about like Cynthia and just the whole dynamic and Alan, and, you know, if any of you guys have met Alan, which most of you guys on here have, he is just a breath of fresh air, super happy guy. And, you know, our last trip, I got the opportunity to meet Rachel, which is his daughter-in-law. And it's just like, you don't even like, it's just like, you just talk with people and it just, you feel like sometimes you've known everybody for years, you know, it's just honestly so organic. And, that's what I just love about this company is that you're meeting new people and just all the friendships that are all over the world. And, that just says something about the company too.
Amen to that. Alan is a very, very special guy. And just down to earth and witty and funny. And yeah, he's just a super cool guy. And so giving. And Ashley gets to hang out with him all the time because they work together and travel together and do lots of cool stuff. So she's lucky. Anybody else? Well, thank you so much, Ashley. This was a privilege to have you on, and just love hearing from you. Love your insights, and yeah. So thanks, guys, for popping on, and you guys have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you next week.